Hello, this is Lucy Fox from Lucy Fox Arts. Welcome to the Fox Den. I had a bunch of videos scheduled to post, so I wasn't too worried about making a video. And that's when I realized I hadn't recorded a completed pages video for October. And then I'm rushing to show you my completed pages, even though they're nothing to write home about because I had my injury in my wrist. So I couldn't really color all that much. I finished a whip. And I did 2 pages start to finish this month. Unfortunately, that's all I could do, but it is what it is, right? Let's get to it. The first one I'm going to show you is my whip. It's from Worlds of Wonder. So, nope, not this one. Yeah, this one. So this is a whip. It has been a whip since 2024, I think. Yeah, since February 2024. I had sized the paper with a homemade sizing solution. It wasn't a good result. But alas, it did its job. But I did kind of ruin it on the borders because I smudged a lot. I don't even know why, I don't know what I did, but when I first started coloring this a year ago, over a year ago, almost 2 years now, I had smudged a lot. So I tried to erase it and do other things, didn't work, so I went with matte acrylic paint and I painted the borders. And here, this is the final result. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah. This is the final result for this one. I finished this in October 17th. I like the result, all things considered. I had to fix a lot of things and deal with the sizing that didn't work. I even tried to do a bit of a glow effect here, and I think I kind of succeeded. I used, I think mostly, no, I thought it was Prismacolors, but right now I'm not sure. I think not. Oh yes, right, I remember. I used my Holbeins on the clowns. I used soft white to erase the lines and to give this smudgy, fluffy look. I used, I think it was my Lightfast in my Derwent Drawing. I used inky blue on the borders. And back here to represent the light, I used Solway blue alongside light cobalt blue, I think. And then some silver gel pen. These I had already done before, so I don't remember exactly what I used, but I think were my Lightfast, if I'm not mistaken. I used, I think, terracotta to do the brickwork. So that's it for this one. Now, I try to do 2 Halloween pages, because I never really do that, but I keep forgetting. When I remember, it's just November and I didn't color anything at all that is Halloween related. But okay. This one I posted by the end of the month. I finished October 31st. So just in the nick of time. Let me show you. Yeah. It was this one. It was a demo for the Derwent Drawing. I used matte acrylic paint, white acrylic paint for the candle to erase some of the lines and to be able to do the glow effect. But I think I didn't erase any other lines. No, I didn't. Everything else was done strictly with Derwent Drawing pencils. I didn't even use the blender, which I sometimes use, their Derwent blender, or any other blender really, but for Derwent Drawing I do find Derwent blender is one of the best. But I didn't even use that because I wanted to see how they performed. And I used in this area here and here, I used the pencil themselves to blend and burnish. But I didn't want to give a burnished look to everything. I wanted to be more color pencil like. And on the background I used ink, like ink pads. I have them here, like these, with these blending tools. And it turns out I really like using inks, and now I'm gonna have to look for the real deal. So, ouch for my wallet. um, that's it for this one. I'm really proud because I've come a long way in coloring skin. I'm really terrible with it, and I wanted to give the glow look to it, like it's lighting from below, but I also didn't want to get it too creepy, so I acted as if there were some light source from upwards as well. Not sure if that worked, but I like the results still. Same with the cat here. I was able to achieve mostly, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I was able to mostly achieve a fluffy look, but I also didn't want to be super cute because it's not how it was done by the author. He looks a bit, not angry, but a bit mischievous, so I wanted to give that look a little bit. I'll leave the cuteness for this one, maybe next year, perhaps. And also, this was an untouched book. Seasons by Hanna Karlzon is one of my favorites that I have of hers from her old collection. I only have like 3, I think, from her old collection. I'm trying to get other ones, but they're really hard to come by lately. Now, this one, I think I showed you in the video how I size my pages. I think was this one, and either Spooky or Lulu Mayo as well. I sized them all in that day. Here. I tried to start this one, but didn't work. I couldn't finish it in time, so I figured I should just leave it for another time, and I should focus on the one I could finish. So I used watercolor. I'm not sure which one, to be completely honest. Up here I used a little bit of Derwent Drawing in the sky. I also used I think it was Da Vinci Light Cerulean, I think. I mixed up some gray and also here some ochre, some really like dark ashy ochre, and then I layered with Van Dyke Brown, and I came back after it was completely dry. I came back with the drawing pencils just to add a little bit of depth, like on these shadows here as well, when you see the more of a smooshy look here. Also for some highlights here and here to soften them up, because when I use them in watercolor, because it's not really watercolor paper, we don't get a really smooth transition, so I use the pencils to give a better sense of light hitting a smooth and curved object. So that's it for my color pages of October 2025. Sorry this was so late, but I had completely forgot to record this. And I was putting the books back on the shelf, organizing them. That's when I realized, hey, I didn't really record anything of them. I should at least record a video of colored pages. No matter how meager it was, the pages I was able to complete, but hey, at least I did some, which is more than I can say for other months. And in the other months, I didn't even have the excuse of my hand. I just completely forgot about October themed things like pumpkins, autumn, and Halloween and stuff. I usually just forget about it because where I live, they don't celebrate that all that often. Nowadays, they're starting to, but typically they don't. That's why it completely escapes my mind. Also, I love fall, but I am in the South Hemisphere and fall is incomplete. Our seasons are completely opposite, so it's not something I would find natural to color. I would usually do that in like May, around May, beginning of June. That would be fall for me, so I don't outside when I go out the leaves are not falling and stuff like that, so I don't get really naturally reminded that in the northern hemisphere it's fall now. So that's my excuse. But that's it for my coloring pages, guys. I hope you had a great October. Mine was a bit hit and miss because of my hand. Still on demand. I can use my hand most of the time now. I just need to put the splinter to go to bed. I'm all ready to go to bed, so I hope you're having a great October. I wish you a wonderful evening and see you in the next one. Bye!